continuing our conversation on Jordan Peterson's book, The 12 Rules for Life. And I'm curious if we could take a look at chapter or rule 8. And if you can maybe read for the audience the title of that rule.
Rule number 8, tell the truth or at least don't lie. Okay. Rule 8. So when you hear that, what sort of comes to mind for you?
I go back to my days in Sunday school and Catholic school, where they really drilled into you, you have to be honest as much as you can, or else, the gates of guilt kind of come down on you. And so for me, that was a tough one too. For the longest time, I tend to tell the truth. Sometimes I can come off too direct, but I've learned to be very discreet. And there are times where I do say the white lie, and that is either to protect the person or to protect the situation that I'm in. And so I think in that situation, to tell the truth is more to help your sense of self-respect. And I don't want to get too much into the whole aspect of principle or anything like that, but it's really more a way of establishing your character that is comfortable for you.
When I first read this, actually I read the book a year ago, and then I just recently reread it. And Rule 8 definitely made me smile, because tell the truth or at least don't lie. And we've just finished the last year where, again, on social media and on mainstream media, there were more lies being told to people. And we saw blatant lies that were just being twisted by the media. And it was just absolutely incredible, because it took this rule and almost ripped it apart and said, well, if you want to be successful, get really good at lying. Because people who reach the highest levels of office are proven to lie to get whatever they want.
But often in that situation, it's to mask something. I mean, we all know that's on social media, people are taking positions where they're presenting one thing and it may not really be happening. So I feel oftentimes it's to mask things. And so, at some point, how long can you continue it is really, because I'm sure it gets exhausting.
But again, it might for you, because you have this item in you that's called a conscience. It might affect me because I know that when I tell a lie, it keeps me up at night and it bothers the heck out of me. So we might be flawed human beings when it comes to lying. Yet there are others, charismatic sociopaths or sociopaths, that lie is the way that they live. And they don't call it a lie because whatever comes out of their mouth is the truth. And so you could show them so much statistics and rules and regs, but if they don't want to believe it, they don't. And so that's part of the world we live in right now. So when this chapter comes up about tell the truth or at least don't lie, I have a bit of a smirk, because I know for me, it definitely, I've learned in the past when I had those little lies that how they used to attack me in the middle of the night. And it was like, well, okay, if you don't want to sleep well, you want to have insomnia, go ahead, keep lying. Yet if you want to sleep really well, tell the truth. It's a lot easier. You don't have to try to remember all the lies. And so, and when my personal experience about telling one lie, it then grew to 2 and then 3 and then 5, and then you just have no idea. And so for those people who are gifted with that sociopathic ability to just tell people whatever they want, I guess there's still many careers available for you. Yet for in our discussion right now, perhaps we will personalize and talk about our experiences from Gestalt. And so let's continue with that.
Well, the feelings of discomfort is very real. And even like And you can tell physically when you know you did not tell the truth, right? Like your body tells you. And so that discomfort stays with you until you, and it comes back to what I said, it's about character and how you feel about yourself. That's really what it comes down to.
The body wisdom of the body is something that's quite fascinating also with the to tell the truth. And you can do what's called muscle testing, and muscle testing will actually give you some great insights. There's so much wisdom in our body. There's so much wisdom in what we are able to communicate without necessarily words. And that's, again, a field of study that's fantastic. And I think Jordan Peterson talks and shares a little bit about congruency and the words and the value and the power of words. So you have a specific quote from this chapter that I have a feeling we're going to back and forth a little bit.
Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so on page 212, this is a fairly long one, so I'll try and read it as quickly as I can. These genes code for proteins. These proteins are building blocks for new structures in the brain. This means a lot of you are nascent in the most physical of senses and will not be called forth by stasis. And if not, you remain incomplete. So do you want to take a crack at that, or would you like me to?
I'd love to hear your first view, because I have a particular view on that. Yet go ahead with your spin, and then I'll give a spin, and then we'll see where we can spin as a completion to rule number 8.
Okay, so since we're dealing with an expert in the world of psychology and so forth, the takeaway that I had from that was that our brain possesses these genes with certain proteins. And by not engaging in these genes that are in the brain, your physiological self will not really do anything with it. It just becomes, pretty lazy. Just nothing's going to happen. And if there are not things around you that to stimulate your use of those genes in the brain, then there's no reason for you to activate them and to do anything with them. So as a result, you'll never understand or discover the uses of this as the brain continually grows and does what it does. So as a result, you as a person are not going to be fully alive. That's what I took away from it.
And that's a great interpretation. And I think literally it's pretty spot on. My mind went in another direction and went into the arena of nutrition. And what are we doing consciously to give our body the building blocks to be the best we can be? And when we study this about healing, self-healing, when we study about building immunity system, there are some building blocks such as healthy, good water. There's building blocks such as sunlight. There's building blocks like perhaps even putting a prayer or an intention into chewing your food, eating good, healthy vegetables and fruits, allowing your body to be in the process of providing the nutrition to be the best you can be. In many ways, it's been stripped away. We've been so polluted when it comes to nutrition. What's been taught to us of what's good nutrition isn't. It's been put together by an establishment that taught us rubbish. And our body knows it, yet we don't consciously make those choices.
So that kind of goes back to the title of the room, is we are being fed lies about nutrition, yet our body is telling us this is not really what the body needs. The body needs, cleaner water. it needs organic foods, it needs clean air, and it needs, activity as opposed to being sedentary. And so when you're being fed these artificial lies, how does that impact you as an individual when you're interacting with individuals out there? So, if you're on social media and you're doing all of these crazy antics and activities, is that really you? In some cases, it really is that individual, but in some cases, it's not really that individual.
Absolutely. And it's the sugar waters, the sugar drinks, the sitting in a classroom, listening. These go against the human nature of movement, go against the nature of being in nature, of being interactive, of playing, of laughing, of engaging. It's quite sad that that's where we are, and there are people that are rebelling against the structure, the organization that has lied to us. And these days, it's quite challenging because if you do go on media or social media, you've got strong forces on both sides. And the invitation is to find your middle path individually, collectively, to perhaps make your village a better place to be.
And I think also when you think about truth, without getting into too much of the definitions and so forth, and I kind of touched on it in terms of your character, I think it's also when you are working in that place of telling your truth, it reflects in the people that are around you as well. They feed off your energy as well. They feel a safety in interacting with you. They sense your honesty and will feel open to share what they want to share with you. So there's that trust component that gets built as well between individuals and families and so forth. And so when you start building that sense of trust, there then becomes that sense of reliability. And so that I think is also part of when we think about the characters. Who is it that you want to be? And if you feel that your word is who you are, then you're going to speak with that sense of truth, because you don't want to have to, as you said, carry this weight of being somebody that you don't feel comfortable within your skin.
It's a funny thing to hear you say that, because on the one hand, speaking your truth can be very uncomfortable. Yet once you've said it, you can't say unsay it. So there's a growth to speaking your truth, yet your truth that was yesterday might not be your truth that's tomorrow. That's growth, that's learning. And the idea of speaking your truth where you're stepping into your new self compared to the way you would have spoken a year ago, that's growth, that's uncomfortable. So there
Yes.
is a discomfort that comes into growth. And I guess I'm inspired by the butterfly and the cocoon, basically going into that uncertainty, yet then goes through the perturbation, and the wings have got to actually break through the cocoon so that butterfly can fly. And so sometimes some of the challenges we go through are the ones that give us the strength, the resilience, the persistence to strive for what we do want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a beautiful topic, yet one, by having conversations about it, one can get better at almost anything. Yet these days, some of these conversations aren't encouraged, they're not supported, they're not structured in a way, or unstructured in a way that allow people to speak and discover their truth.
True. And it's also a situation where I feel that we're not making it safe for people to really have those conversations because of what we're seeing in publicly and so forth. And so it takes it, you know, it takes a sense of being honest with yourself and knowing that, you know, once you say what you need to say and you are comfortable with what you need to say, then that means that that information that you're sharing with the person in your life are the people that are going to be in your life. It's not a popularity contest or anything like that. It's being with the people that you know are going to be there with you as you continue to grow, as you continue to express yourself, as you continue to evolve into who you're meant to be.
So this is rule number 8 from Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life. Tell the truth, or at least don't lie. And what would be your last little comment today, Sueanne?
My last little comment is be kind to yourself, because that is the greatest truth, I think, that you can do for yourself.
That's a wonderful way to bring this session to a close. Thank you very much. You have an absolutely great week ahead.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the conversation.
Ciao for now.